What's up guys, Semi-Limited here, and today we have an Infernity deck profile for you guys.
Alright, so you've got to play your 3 Infernity Archfiend, it's a staple. 2 Infernity Necromancer. If you play 3, then you're going to draw it too often, which can break your hand and stop your combos right before they even start, which will lose you duels. 2 Summoner Monks. These guys help you dig out your level 4s. He's got a lot of versatility in the deck. He'll grab you a Greffer if you've got too many monsters, Armageddon Knight if you just need to put something in the graveyard, or an Archfiend if you have no other cards in hand, which will net you a search, and then you overlay for a Laval Vault Chain or whatever rank 4 you want. He's also dark, so Key Beetle's on the table, so you're able to even do Key Beetle and Emptiness, which is a great combo for the deck. 3 Stygian Street Patrol. He is your major combo piece. He will special summon your Archfiends and your Necromancers out of your hand. He'll also help unbrick your hand. Some people like to play 2, but I feel like 3 is necessary for the deck just because it unlocks so many more combos, and you just need 3 to keep your hand empty of monsters at all times.
Sure.
2 Dark Greffer because he's just better than Armageddon Knight in certain situations because you can help empty your hand from monsters so that your spells and traps and Infernity monsters effects are all live. 1 Armageddon Knight because sometimes you're not going to have extra darks in your hand that you want to discard, so you use him just to get free grave setup. 1 Archfiend Eris. She's awful to draw, like the worst card in the entire deck to draw in your opening hand because you can't get her out of your hand and still get her effect, or you're going to end up wasting your Stygians on her just so that you can have monsters. But you need to play her because of her effect to search an Archfiend, because you're going to not open with an Infernity Archfiend a lot of the time, and just being able to send her from the deck to the graveyard to activate her effect to search an Archfiend will get you out of a really bad hand situation. 1 Launcher because you have to play it, and it's one of the best cards in the deck because it's a searchable Monster Reborn. Your 3 Soul Charge because you just make it's basically Launcher, but unsearchable. But it will bail you out a lot, and it doesn't restrict you on what types of monsters, so a lot of the time you're just going to use it to make Laval Vault Chains with non-Infernities.
Staple in every deck, we get it.
Yeah. 3 Upstart Goblins for getting to your combo pieces faster. You have to be careful with how you play the card, though, because if you draw too many monsters, or if you just activate it and you draw something that isn't Infernity that you can't play, then you're stuck.
And why the 1 Ultra?
Because I pulled it, and I never got around to finding 2 more Ultras.
Perfect.
Your 2 Rotas, just to boost your consistency. It's also just a spell card, so if you draw too many monsters, then you can just set it instead of activating it. Or if you need to get a Greffer into your hand, then you just get the Greffer or an Armageddon Knight, and it'll just start off your combos.
Semi-Limited.
Yep. That helps this deck a lot. 3 Instant Fusion, another card that you want to have whenever you start off the duel because it's basically a free level 4 from your extra deck, which helps you get to your Laval Vault Chain plays. Also, if you draw 2 of them, then you can discard it with Monk or just save it for next turn. 1 Foolish Burial for faster grave setup, 1 Book of Moon, staple, and 1 Infernity, or Archfiend Palalabyrinth. Some people don't play it, and I've just been testing around with it. You can search it off of Archfiend Eris whenever you want to, but its main use is the extra 500 attack it gives your Infernity Archfiends, because then they become 2300, which allows you to beat over artifacts and crash with Gear Gigants, or just sometimes beat over defensive walls and things like that that you need to. It's also got the handy other effect of being able to target an Archfiend and then banish another fiend you control to special summon an Archfiend monster from your deck with the same level. So if you're stuck with a Necromancer and an Archfiend, then you can turn that into 2 Archfiends, which will get you another search and the ability to make a rank 4 play. That's it for spells and monsters. Now we're on to traps. So 2 Vanity's Emptiness. You can Key Beetle this and just win duels, or if you set this and you make your big combo, then you flip it on your opponent's turn and you've just pretty much won the duel because you're going to chain it to some sort of effect to special summon, so they're going to lose a card and you're just going to still going to have the big field for them to deal with after they clear the card too, so it makes them waste resources and it just wins you duels. 2 Breakthrough Skill. This stops monster effects that your opponent has. It's also really great for stopping Exitons twice, and you need this instead of Fiendish Chain because Fiendish Chain is going to clog up your back row, and since Infernity needs to have no cards in their hand, then you need to make sure that you can set all the spell and trap cards that you draw. So that's why you have to, if you're going to play spell or effect negation, then go with breakthrough skill instead of fiendish chain. 1 warning, bottomless, compulse, and then your 4 infernity trap cards.
Perfect.
That's it for the main deck. In the extra deck, you've got 2 Lavalval chains. You can play 3 if you want to, but 2 is all that you really need to do everything that you want to. And if you play 3, then you're also missing out on another rank 4 from your extra deck. 2 Evil Swarm Exciton Knights for whenever you go second against big fields. It also will help you just clear boards, and since you can clear boards with him, and then you can still have soul charge plays or launcher plays to keep going and just keep netting yourself more advantage after you've nuked.
Sure.
Because Infernity will start off at really low advantage before they gain a whole bunch. So
Awesome.
he's a really great card. 1/101, 1 Key Beetle for your Key Beetle locks, Dweller for those rogue decks, and just sometimes meta decks like Mermails and deals with hands and all that great stuff.
Reversal quiz.
Yep. Yeah, that one guy. Diamond Direwolf, 2 of them. You need 2 Diamond Direwolves in this deck. I was a non-believer until today, actually, because you use him to blow up your own stuff so that you can continue to combo and set more back row and lock your opponent out of the game. The first one is for popping your own stuff, and the second one is for dealing with floodgates or other cards that your opponent has that you want to get rid of.
Sure.
Smells like nag.
1 Cowboy for burning to death of your opponents. 1 Black Ship for pretty much the same reason. It also clears hands.
Sylvans.
Yep. Sometimes it also works against Sylvans. Whenever you have Rhapsody on something on their on Black Ship, then you can destroy and burn for extra damage, which is really crucial because this guy is just amazing in everything that you do. Like he just wins games by himself. He's basically the cowboy. You play him because you just win games. And you also just attach it to a Lavalval chain, and suddenly you've got a 3,000 attack beat stick that your opponent has to deal with. 1 Leviar, because sometimes you're going to be left with 2 Necromancers, and since you're going to have Stygians out of play, then it gives you a level 4 to bring back and instantly make a rank 4, as well as put the Stygian back into play.
Sure.
And your 2 instant fusion targets.
Nice.
This should be another Camion Wizard, because I haven't been able to find one, so I've been using this. But either way, they're both dark, so that you can still do Key Beetle plays.
Awesome.
That's the extra deck and the side deck.
Oh, the side deck. First one on the channel.
2 Chalices. They help you out whenever you are thinking that your opponent's going to side into Decrease, since Infernity can be a pretty back row heavy deck. Things like Lightsworns are definitely going to side into Decrease. So in that case, you side out like 2 breakthrough skills for these because they're not affected by the decree. 1 Twister for Floodgates, along with your 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, because you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! During games 2 and 3. 2 Trap Stuns for pretty much the same reason. If you're playing against a back row heavy deck that maybe you don't think that they can side Floodgates like a hat deck, where they can't side in like the macros and stuff like that, so you're going to play your Trap Stuns just to paralyze their Sanctums and whatnot before you can go off. 2 D-Prisons for hands. Not often are they going to have hands that are going to be a huge problem for you, but if, for instance, maybe you're going second and they're going to set hands, or you're going first and you just need extra backup protection, then they're good for solving that issue.
Awesome.
1 Soul Drain. You have to be careful about how you use this because it will turn off your Stygians, so you really ideally want to flip this after you combo. But other than that, it doesn't hurt the deck too much.
Because like half of the decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! You know?
Yeah. 2 Tyrant's Tummy Aches. Those are for dragons and mermails. Basically, you tribute 1 monster, and then neither player can special summon level 6 or higher. You've seen the deck. There is no level 6 or higher anywhere, main deck or extra deck, so it doesn't hurt this deck at all. And it automatically kills itself whenever you have 3 or more cards in your hand. If you have 3 or more cards in hand with Infernities, then you are losing. So this is a good side deck card for that. And finally, 2 Light Mirrors, just to win against Bujins and Lightsworns. And that concludes the deck profile.
Perfect. Thanks. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And
and
love me.
we'll love him too. See you later, guys.